Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever been in a meeting and heard someone use a phrase that, well, just didn't make sense? If you've ever felt a little lost hearing English idioms at work, you're definitely not alone. They can be pretty tricky, but they're also a huge part of sounding natural and confident. So today, we're going to break down some of the most common idioms you'll hear in the office.
Here's our game plan. First, we'll jump into phrases for getting started on a project. Then, we'll look at some great idioms for preparing and getting organized. After that, we've got one really important phrase you need to watch out for. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your brand new idiom toolkit. Sound good? Let's do it.
First up, let's talk about how to start something. You know, that moment when it's time to begin? These next few idioms are all about that initial push, but you'll see they each have their own unique flavor. Okay, our first idiom is to get down to work. This is the one you use when it's time to stop the chit-chat and really start focusing. It's basically a signal that playtime is over and it's time to be productive.
So you might hear a manager say something like, "We've wasted enough time, let's get down to work." You can just feel the seriousness in that, can't you? It's a really clear sign that the real work starts right now.
Now, this next one, it's got a totally different energy. Get this show on the road. This is a much more informal and, enthusiastic way to say, let's begin. While get down to work is serious, this one is all about excitement. It's like all the prep is done and it's finally time for action. You could totally use this at the start of a team workshop or a big event. For example, everyone's ready, so let's get the show on the road. It just sounds so collaborative and full of energy, doesn't it?
Okay, this one is a little more specific. It's about a successful start. When a project gets off the ground, it means it's moved past all those early, tricky planning stages and is now actually working. The key word here is success. Think of a plane successfully taking off.
For instance, you could say, their new business finally got off the ground last month. That word finally is so important there. It really tells you that it probably took a whole lot of effort to make it happen.
And here's a super common one. Get the ball rolling. Just imagine a ball sitting at the top of a hill. It needs a little push to get going, right? Well, that's this idiom. It's not about launching the whole thing, but more about taking that very first small step to begin a process. A perfect example you'll hear in meetings all the time is, let's get the ball rolling by introducing ourselves. See? It's just a simple, easy action that kicks off a much bigger activity. All right, great job. Let's shift gears a little bit. Now that we know how to start things, let's talk about what comes next. All the idioms you need for preparing and getting organized.
Our first phrase here is get up to speed. This one's pretty simple. It just means you need to learn all the new or latest information about something so that you're totally caught up. Think of it like you're closing an information gap.
For example, if you're new on a team, you might say, "It took me a week to get up to speed with a new system." It's a perfect way to talk about that process of getting fully informed and ready to go.
Oh, this is a classic.
To learn the ropes. This just means learning the basic, essential skills you need to do a new job. And fun fact, it actually comes from old sailing ships, where new sailors had to literally learn which ropes did what. It just perfectly captures that feeling of learning the fundamentals.
And it's something we've all experienced. For example, it takes time to learn the ropes when you start a new job. This phrase is a great reminder that being new always means there's a bit of a learning curve.
I absolutely love the mental image for this one. To have your ducks in a row,
It means you've got everything organized perfectly. All the little details are taken care of, and you are 100% prepared for something big, like a presentation or a project launch.
You might hear a manager give this advice before a big client meeting. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row before the meeting. It's really a call to be super thorough and prepared.
Okay, let's pause for a second. Most of the idioms we talk about are positive or neutral. But this next one is, well, it's different. And it's really important that you understand its very serious meaning.
The phrase is marching orders. Let's be really clear here. If someone gets their marching orders, it means they've been fired from their job. It's a very direct and very serious way of saying someone was dismissed.
Here's an example of how you might hear it used. After missing too many deadlines, he got his marching orders. So yeah, this is definitely one phrase you never want to hear directed at you.
Whew! Okay, after that serious one, let's bring it all back together. It's time for a quick review of all the fantastic phrases we've just added to your idiom toolkit.
All right, let's recap our new toolkit. To get started, you've got get down to work for getting serious, get the show on the road for an energetic start, get off the ground for a successful launch, and get the ball rolling for that first small step. For getting ready, you now know get up to speed, learn the ropes, and how to get your ducks in a row. And of course, that very important one to watch out for, marching orders. What a great collection to start using.
So, now you've got the tools. The next step is just practice. And that brings us to the question for you. Which one of these idioms are you going to try to use first? Thanks so much for joining me today. Happy learning!